In this video, I'm going to show you the fastest way to sew your shorts. Now, this short has the zip at the back, so I'm just going to show you the easiest and fastest way to sew a short with the zip at the back. Let's go. So I'm starting with my shorts pattern. I have a detailed tutorial on how I drafted this pattern. I'll leave the link to the pattern, to the tutorial in the description box. Okay, now this is my pattern and this is my band, my front and my back pattern and my band. Now what I did here was I placed the pattern on my fabric. This fabric is on a fold. Okay, this fabric is on a fold and I'm just going to cut out my pattern. Now I've cut the front part. And you see those points, the hip line, the crouch line and the tie line. I also marked those points on the fabric. I also put the dart point too on the fabric. I just transferred all the important points to the fabric. Now for the back pattern, from the hip line, I'm just going to draw a straight line. Now this short does not have a zip in front, so I want to create sort of like a zip attachment at the back. So from the hip line, I'm going to draw a straight line out, and I marked 1 inch, and at the top too I marked 1 inch. Now if you guys hear baby sounds, my baby is here with me, so enjoy the music. So after marking 1 inch at the waistline and at the hip line, I'm just going to connect the markings with a straight line. Now you don't really need up to 1 inch, you need about half an inch, because I later trimmed out about half an inch. Now this is what the line looks like. You can see it's not straight, it is slanted. Okay, now something you want to do is you want to use your chalk to trace out where your seam allowance stopped. Okay, you want to trace where your seam allowance stopped. You will also trace where your normal sewing, that's where you're meant to sew, okay, on the pattern as well. That's the first line. You're going to do that as well. Now after tracing and drawing my lines, this is what I did here. I just used my scissors and I cut out the back pattern. Okay, I know my plenty talk is confusing you, but just stay with me. Okay, after tracing, I cut the back pattern. You can see I had to go in with my ruler cutter because that place was curvy and my scissors wasn't doing the best job for me. Then I went ahead to cut the sides and the hem. Okay, now this is what I was explaining to you guys, that you trace that point and you also transfer the line where you are meant to sew initially, which is the first line. Yeah, you should also mark it, so when you are sewing you know which point you should sew. I also did the same for the band. This band is on a fold and I just placed the pattern paper on it and I cut it. Okay, now to start the tutorial, I'm going to join the front and the back pattern on the crouch curve, the crouch line, anyone you want to call it. Okay, so I did that for the front pattern and I also did that for the back pattern. You can see that because I marked where my seam allowance stopped, I moved in by 1 cm and I just joined it at the crouch line because it was 1 cm seam allowance I added there. Okay, so this is the back pattern. You can see what I'm saying there. I moved back by 1 centimeter because it was 1 centimeter seam allowance I added to the pattern. Okay, that was before I drew this zip extension. Okay, so this is what we have here for the back pattern, for the back shorts, and this is what the front short looks like. Okay, so next thing I went ahead to do was to pick my darts, okay, for the front and the back pattern. You guys, I'm struggling here, my baby is here. So this is what the dart looks like for the front pattern. I did for the front pattern. This is what the dart looks like. Yes baby, it's okay. And this is what the dart for the back pattern looks like. Okay, you guys, you can see it's very straightforward. So this is what the dart for the back pattern looks like. I've shown you the one for the front pattern. Now to proceed, the next thing I went ahead to do was I opened up the front shorts. I think I've been calling the shorts pattern. Oh, you guys, pardon me. So I made sure that the midpoint of the front and the back shorts met, you know, they are together, and I secured that with a pin. And I also went ahead to make sure that the inseam, you know, they are well aligned together and they're equal. and I went ahead to secure that with a pin. So this is just, I secured the center with a pin. Just if you don't understand what I'm saying, just look at what I'm doing. Then I'm just going to join it round, okay, from that point to the other point. So you guys, I took it to my sewing machine and I just joined the middle of the shorts together. This side is called the inseam, okay. Now I joined it together, did a back stitch and secured, and this is what we have here, guys. This is what the inseam looks like. This is what the inseam looks like. And I also went ahead to weave it, okay. I didn't just stop at joining it. I went ahead to weave it, and I also gave it a good press, okay. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to join the sides. I went ahead to join the sides, and I'm also going to turn over the hem of the shorts, okay. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined the sides. Now, one trick to getting your shorts right, I always tell people, is to prepare everything and also use your pattern, okay, or you cut it down before you start sewing, okay. Now I also went ahead to turn over the hem. So if you get your cutting right, the sewing will be straightforward. But if you do not get your cutting right, the sewing is going to be cumbersome. If there's any word like that. Okay, now I'm done with the sides and the hem. It's time for the band. So for this band, I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to attach the gum stay. You know that one that is strong? I told you guys, if you guys know on this channel, I'm always confusing their names, but I know the difference, okay. So I'm just going to put my gum stay and I'm going to fold it, okay. So I've gone ahead to put my gum stay and I folded it. Now the gum stay you use, the stay you use, that one they use for collar, those hard ones, okay. So now this is the, I've gone ahead to open up the back part of this short, okay. Remember that the zip is going to be at the back. So I opened it up and I'm just going to attach the band to the short, okay. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I attached the band to the short. If you guys don't know, I sell sewing machines, okay. So you want to check out my sewing machine page on Facebook or Instagram at Stitchadress shop, okay. Send me a DM if you want to buy a sewing machine. Now I went ahead to join the band to the shorts. This is what we have here, guys. This is, it's looking pretty already. Yeah, thank you, it's okay, So I opened up the zip extension. I just opened it by 9 inches, okay, and I'm going to use this zip. I was meant to use an invisible zip, but I realized I don't have any at home, so I used the zip, but I used the one that the head of the zipper is small, okay. Now I'm just going to attach it to the short, okay. So I attached it to the short. You can see I've changed my foot presser, or my presser foot, anyone, people call it different names, guys, just choose the one you like. And I changed it to my zipper foot presser, and I attached the zip to the shorts, and I also did like a top stitch around the zip at the beginning of the zipper. The most beautiful shorts I've ever made. It's so beautiful, it is lovely. Forget that food, there is my stomach that has refused to go down after childbirth. This is what the back looks like. The back is giving, it is giving, guys. This is the easiest way and the fastest way to sew a short. Do make sure you come back for another video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Bye. For me and my baby that is dragging the cord.